Hello again. 6 people have been arrested in Brussels as part of an ongoing manhunt for the suspects of Tuesday's deadly bombings. Their identities have not been released, but police say 2 were filmed on CCTV cameras at the attacked airport and metro station. Meanwhile, a Europe-wide blame game is unfolding over how the perpetrators avoided capture after it was revealed they were known to authorities. One of the suspects of the Brussels airport attack was detained in Turkey last year, but he was deported for alleged radicalization, with Ankara saying its warnings about the man were ignored by Belgium. However, Belgian officials say it simply came too late.
What's important in this story, the transmission of the information from Turkey to Belgium was slower than might have been expected in this situation.
Well, in fact, the man in question held a Dutch passport and was actually deported to the Netherlands. But officials there were also unwilling to accept the blame for failing to apprehend him, saying he was not wanted by local authorities. A former mayor of Brussels told RT that European and international security services have to be far more coordinated if they're to prevent terror effectively.
There are several things and several groups and several people, I think, all over Europe, who are just below the radar of the intelligence systems and of the police systems. So those guys are very difficult to detect. You have a lot of sleeping cells. Of course, you will never have a way to prevent any attack. We have to work on more and more on an international basis in Europe. We should have, of course, some kind of European FBI. That's what we should establish, to have a single police and intelligence organization working for the whole of the European Union. That's what we should have. We don't have that today.
U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry arrived in Moscow on Wednesday for discussions on possible solutions to the Syrian conflict and the situation in Ukraine. However, before getting down to business talks, momentarily went a little off topic, with President Putin particularly interested in why Kerry had to carry his own briefcase and its potentially top secret contents.
С одной стороны, это очень демократично, с другой стороны, думаю, совсем, видимо, вот и дело в США уже некому помочь госсекретарю чемоданом. Потом подумал, может быть, в этом кейсе было что-то такое, что вы не могли никому доверить, что-то ценное. Видимо, деньги привезли, чтобы нам торговаться.
Well, Mr. President, thank you. When we have a private moment, I'll show you what's in my briefcase, and I think you'll be surprised pleasantly.
John, you haven't told us what was in your briefcase.
My briefcase? Yeah. No, that's a secret between President Putin and me.
America's pro-gun lobby is entertaining the country's younger generation by rewriting classic children's fairy tales. But now the protagonists are armed with guns. Published on the National Rifle Association's family website, new versions of Hansel and Gretel and Little Red Riding Hood show how the characters could have avoided some of the plot's pitfalls if they'd had a weapon.
What it does is it just encourages the use of guns, any sort of social problem. It's a really bizarre mindset, but you know, for the NRA, they're not concerned about the social impact. When you kind of change people's attitudes, make them think that guns are a good thing, that guns can solve any social problem, that guns should be welcome in the home, it's certainly not going to help, and it will influence people. What it does tell us is, you know, this is the NRA, this is the right-wing view of the world. It's also, I think, essentially a form of child abuse.
Thousands of migrants and refugees stranded at the Greek-Macedonian border are being forced to scramble for food and clothing. That's as the situation in the camps there has worsened, with a number of humanitarian organisations pulling out in protest over the migrant deal between the EU and Turkey. According to the deal, scores of migrants who have already reached Europe could face deportation to Turkey. However, in a bid to improve their chances of asylum, some migrants have been converting to Christianity.
As the EU looks to step up the deportations of those refugees and migrants not eligible for asylum, one way to make sure that you can't be sent back to a strict Islamic country is convert to Christianity. Because converts and apostates risk the death penalty in a number of states. Church congregations like this one in Hamburg have been unexpectedly flourishing.
In the last half a year, due to this refugee wave, the number of people has increased. Last month, we baptized 120 people, and 50 are on standby.
It takes 3 months to go through the course to prepare for baptism at this church. Pastor Babayan recognizes that many see it as a chance to stay.
Anyone is welcome. I would say that over 50% that come to us do so with the motivation of improving their chances of remaining in Germany. That's not important to us. It's much more important that we connect with them with the Word of God.
How can you tell who's a genuine convert? This group is from Iran. Baptized last month, they explained to me what they go through, even in Europe, for their new beliefs.
I have been spat on, told that I have betrayed Islam. But through what I've learned, I can forgive them.
I am easily spotted as a Christian in the refugee center. I see myself as a missionary, telling people about Jesus. Since I became a Christian, I fear no one.
We have been disowned not only by our friends, but also our families. This is our path.
Switching faiths is no way to guarantee asylum, but this congregation expects more will try. It's already looking for larger premises, with weekly attendance set to top 1,000 by the end of the year. Peter Oliver, RT Hamburg.
Up next, a look at increasing cases of acid attacks on women in India.